We start out talking about childhood obesity. It's a problem, and it's one that these three folks next to me are working on in many ways, including creating awareness for childhood obesity and a big event they're going to be talking about in just a second. On my right, David Daggett, our good friend from Daggett Shuler, attorneys at law. David and his partner, Griff Shuler, who brought along a special guest who's been with us before. We're always glad to have her. Erin Craver is Executive Director of the Kernersville Family YMCA. Welcome, everybody.
Thank you, Jim.
Griff Shuler, and we'll get to Griff in just a second. David, let me start with you. How bad is the childhood obesity problem, do you think?
Well, it's grown tremendously, and in fact, in half my lifetime, which is the last 30 years, the obesity rate in children has gone up 4 times over that period. So now about 20% of all youth are obese, and 30% of all youth are overweight. And I know we're going to get to it, but thank goodness the YMCA system is doing something about it. But it's a big problem. We need to be aware of it. We need to help and encourage our young people on ways to avoid that problem, because young people who are obese, you're likely to be obese as an adult, which brings on
just keeps going.
All sorts of health problems.
And Griff, that brings me to you, because I know that you believe that there's other things other than just the weight problem when a child is obese.
Well, there's the long-term implications that David just mentioned about what happens in an adult. There's obviously very short-term implications to the child. Studies show that children that are obese have less self-esteem, which then leads to emotional and psychological problems. There's studies that have direct correlation between being obese and an increase in depression and anxiety. And so it's kind of scary to think about, but it's beyond just the physical problems. There's emotional and mental consequences that happens at
Sure.
the child level.
Yeah, at the worst possible age when they're trying to form who they are. Erin, what kind of programs and things is the YMCA doing to abate this problem?
So for starters, we do an annual Mistletoe Run that is going to take place the first Saturday of every December, so this year, Saturday, December 7th. And it's an opportunity where kids and families get to come and join in order to raise money for a cause to help fight childhood obesity, which the Y does through swim lessons, basketball, soccer, Tide swim team, all sorts of sports and healthy activities.
You got stuff going on
year-round. 365 days a year.
To keep kids in shape. Now, the Mistletoe Run, since you mentioned it, now the money that you're raising, does that come from fees of people that want to participate or what?
Right, so the exciting news is that 100% of the revenue of race registration, after paid expenses obviously, goes to fight childhood obesity in our community. So last year we raised $76,000 in order to dump back into Winston-Salem, North Carolina.
Wow. David, why should folks attend this?
Oh, it's a great event. First of all, it's one of the biggest running races in our area. Last year, just under 3,000 runners. I think we're going to crack 3,000 this year.
Wow.
That's a lot of runners. It's a terrific event, terrific organization. The people at the YMCA, they host it and they welcome everybody with open arms. Last year, 20% of all runners were youth. So it involves youth in the community. It gets us going. And as Erin said, local races, local events like this, the money stays local and impacts local. And because it's being run by a nonprofit organization, the YMCA, it's unique that 100% of the proceeds go right back into the community.
And I think that financial help is so huge, because if you think about modern society now and the way it's evolved with the smartphones and kids using that and everything, Jim, it's so easy to stay inside, and so having programs and having the team sports and the swimming opportunities and everything, and for a lot of kids, they can't afford to be part of the Y programs unless they have the financial assistance that's brought along by being able to do the Mistletoe Race.
This helps underwrite that. Up on screen, I want to make sure we don't run out of time on this, the 36th Annual Mistletoe Run, Saturday, December 7th. I think it starts at the William White YMCA, Winston-Salem.
Yes.
Fun runs at 7:30 a.m., half marathon at 8 o'clock. The 5K is at 8:15. For more information, you can go to ymcamistletoe.org. For the radio listening audience in WSJS, that's ymcamistletoe.org. And for general information about all the great things that Daggett Shuler does and offers, DaggettShulerLaw.com. And to all of you, thanks for what you're doing to bring awareness to this problem.
Thanks, Jim.
Thank you.
Appreciate you having us.
And David, you're going to stay with us for the roundtable later.
Oh, good.
All right.
Thank you.
We'll be right back after